Yo, 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 what's up, fellow human beings? This is actually the first official episode of the album. Yeah, they finally released songs. I'm not sure with this one if this is like an intro song or not, because it's like 3 minutes long. We have a few comments to read, and I'm really excited for the new track. So let's just go ahead, I guess. That already vibes like an intro track, by the way. Yo, you hear the drums? Whoa. Has a bit of that Lord of the Rings, like, high fantasy vibe. I actually like that they have this like dynamic fading in of a second or even a third layer of guitar. You kind of have this main melody playing, right? And then in the background there's just like sometimes this guitar coming in. It has a really cool dynamic effect to it. And we also see like this is already gonna be a rather heroic sounding aesthetic idea for this album. If you couldn't guess so far from this cover art with that like one guy standing there in front of this landscape. But that's kind of an aesthetic I kind of dig. Right here, the second guitar is just playing a bit in the background. And here it's moving on alone. Dig the vibe so far? Just think about that light trickling down on that artwork. Thick sound there in the end. Oh, and they also put in riser there in the end, probably for the transition for the next song. The next song is already The Light of Hope, by the way, so we messed up the order a bit. What I like there in the end, like aesthetically about this intro is like, again, you have this really cool way of portraying this imagery and sound. You have the guitar rising up across these trails of those light rays. And then you have the light coming from above, which is like portrayed by the synth of the keyboard. I think all in all, I would say the intro song sounds somewhat familiar, but I would say it sounds also more polished. If I had to choose between whatever this reminds me of and this song, I would probably choose this song just because it has a bit more polish to it. So that's all I have to say about this intro song. And since it was an intro song, we get to listen to another full song today, which will be Let No Time to Decay. But first, I'm curious how that transition will work between these first two songs. Let's just check that out for a second. You have the synth at the top and the guitar at the bottom, ringing out. Alright. Alright. Okay, to be fair, that wasn't a spectacular transition or anything, but I still wanted to know. So, yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, then just let's go ahead to the next song. Whoa! Yo, those chucks are like slaps in your face or something. Dude, no cap that sound, man. Like he's scratching his pick against a rock or something. What the frick is that sound? Yeah, cool dynamics here. I love it. The choirs. Mordor is approaching. This heavily reminds me of Blast of Hell. If you remember, like, this is pretty much the show version of Blast of Hell. I know they have done some heavy songs in the most recent albums as well. Stuff like Flames of Rage is like one of my recent favorites of theirs. But this is another level of heavy. And what surprises me is that we have Sho's rather soft voice, which actually works really well. They've done a lot of like trickery with the voice, but also stylistically. And they have this really cool pace which is going on in the song, which just somehow works with his voice. Also like the backing vocals, it's really cool. It's also pretty unique. So cool when it opens up. Okay, taking out a bit the pace in the chorus. Still the double pedals though. That hit. It's so low you can barely hear it. Very energetic start. That was really cool. Whoa. Those choirs are killing me, dude. Dude, we have to talk about that solo. We have... While we clearly hear it's Galneryus, right? Obviously. I think this actually, in contrast to the Light of Hope, did really cool stuff. You heard Yuki's signature style, you heard Shu's signature style, of course, but just how they structured this. Also, the moods we had in this section, right? So, it wasn't something which I usually heard, at least. And then again, we had a bit of that, like, nice journey feel to add. When we started with that very energetic part at the bottom, and then it just gradually got to more chill, light moods. This is definitely one of the more memorable sections. I'm definitely gonna listen to that again. By the way, let's just do that right now so we can take another look at it. Also pretty hyped that at this point they just make one chorus and already start with the solo section. And still the song is almost 7 minutes long. Bit of groovy stuff in the background. Also Yuki with the organ, it sounds so freaking evil. Dark Force is galloping. You really have this inner tension this brings in. Okay, so actually we have a rather bright mood compared to the rest of the song in the solo section from the very beginning. Even if we have this, that's like, it brings in this tension. There's some sort of conflict going on, but at the same time it is already in a higher sphere. And then we already have this synth solo from Yuki from above, because he always, you know, just due to the quality of these synth sounds, they portray this light really well, which we have there. So he's just like wobbling around a lot up there, but it's also cool. It's extremely chaotic. It's not this calming thing per se. It's just whatever chaos has built at the bottom there is now like happening up there, right? Then we have Shu section, which gets a bit bluesy. That usually starts to feel a bit like we're entering a bit of a chill mood now. It feels a bit like we're moving back to a home base. It has a bit of that comfy feeling to it. In that section, he's also descending upwards. It always has this descending upwards feel to it so far. Yeah, feels a bit like coming home. I don't know why. Now he's like just tapping the notes. Back to the main melody, of course. Very anime. Whoa, one last build up, let's go.
Let the time decay, immortally modose, don't cast time away.
Immediately that mood.
Let the time decay, asunite, modose, don't cast time away. Shosoni shitsumi, kakimita sarate mo, let the time away. Tsuyaku furiku dake, don't cast time away. Ikarita utokase.
Whoa. Oh. Drums. Wow. There is just something about those heavy songs. I don't know what it is, right? Some of these extremely heavy freaking songs, which always are like also a journey, because it's probably because of the contrast they're forming. It's probably always the explanation, I guess, but just because it goes so heavy and so fast and so low, you can kind of like really appreciate those moments when it rises up. And that's what they kind of did there in the end, also with a moment of surprise, right? In the end, it sounded almost like we were rising up to a higher mood, rising out of the pit. But just before they hit that last note of closure, they just dropped down back into it. That was really cool. This entire outro section, I totally enjoyed mood-wise, the sounds. I love the production in it. The drums, by the way, went totally crazy. Like in this last section with the double pedals, it was really intense, man. We have to listen to that again. And like from that synth section, it was so cool. Little swinging mood to it.
Let the time decay.
That's freaking awesome.
Cast time away. Karashimu takejao. Let the time decay.
It was also so short. I love it.
Don't cast time away. Shosoni shitsumi, kakimita sarate mo, let the time away. Tsuyaku furiku dake, don't cast time away.
And the light comes in the background. Right, and here it just opens up. You have these intense double pedals in the background. Okay, guys, I don't have to tell no more. I'm so, like, that was a really cool song. Okay, you know, I have to specifically think about Blast of Hell, because that just developed over the, past year to one of my favorites from the Reincarnation album, which was arguably the most intense album of the Yamabi era. There's a similar way in which it constructs this really various roller coaster, which elevates it from just being a heavy, fast song to actually something really melodic and enjoyable as well. And I'm excited what the next songs have to offer. Well, and when we're already talking about that, well, there were quite some comments to this, which of course I don't want to ignore. Some of them I didn't even read so far because I thought it might be interesting to read them together here. Sorry, I don't want to make myself a name for butchering names, but David Reynosa wrote to The Light of Hope, like this is all under The Light of Hope, right? Incredible song. Maybe Yuki's solo is a bit generic here, but the rest of the album is a massive tsunami of originality on the keyboards. I mean, we had some cool synth sounds here so far. And to be fair, Yuki is going really heavy, like in these songs. Also in The Light of Hope, like he's going extremely wobbly, which is a bit interesting to me. So yeah, let's wait and see what he has to offer in the rest of the songs. Our trivia person writes, "Oh, you've advanced your pieces to a new album and a new track. Compared to the previous album, the number of songs in this album is short, but it seems that the volume of each song is large, so I'm looking forward to it." Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true. It's pretty short, right? We have an intro track, perhaps we have an outro track, and it's still below 10 tracks in total. Then we have like a lot of past output of Galneryus. They release albums very frequently, in my opinion. They've just made so many great songs that I personally can wait. So that's fine with me. This phrase Light of Hope was also used in the online live We'll See the Light of Hope held in 2021 when the new coronavirus was spreading. So it is an impressive phrase for them. Oh, and that was, by the way, that Whatever It Takes era, right? And I'm always talking about Whatever It Takes because they've released an album after that, and that kind of just flew by me because then I was already planning to start a channel, so I didn't listen that closely to the song, so I don't know what happened then. But I still like have quite some ties to Whatever It Takes, so I really remember that era well. And I remember that they did an online, I watched that online live actually. They did an online live concert where in that time when no actual live concerts were possible. I mean, a lot of Japanese bands did that, which I really appreciated. I think there was also at least one live concert by Unlucky Morpheus, which is also a band which I really like in the genre. War, anger, and sadness are taking place all over the world right now. Even so, it is a song unique to Galneryus that contains the desire to move forward without giving up hope. That being about The Light of Hope, of course, which is definitely understandable. I mean, a lot of power metal bands seem to do those kind of themes in recent years. I also have to think about this. I don't know if it was an EP or an album, like a full-length album by Love Bites, right? Where I think it was called Hail to the World or something, which also seemed to have themes like this and is, in my opinion, actually like the best body of music they've ever released, in my opinion, because all of those 4 tracks or how many are included are just pretty awesome. Yeah, but anyway, show is now 59 years old. I can't help but accept this miracle. A lot of people are like emphasizing every year how old this guy is and the performances he still can pull off. Honestly, I'm not a vocalist or like professional musician to any capacity, so I really don't know like how impressive this per se is, but I can still try to guess. I have a certain grasp like how difficult it is to actually perform those songs in general. So, and then you have just like a 60-year-old guy. I guess, man. Like what's important to me, of course, is that just Sho keeps on slaying. And he does so far. Like I hope I can see him live at some point, because I don't know how long he's still gonna be able to do that. I don't even know how to read that. They never disappoint. I also think that AI generated album cover is not their idea. The people handling the album's promotion and design most likely decided to go with this cover. I hope that's the case. It's the only thing that disappointed me. And I love Sho. There's a lot of love for Sho, actually. I'm mostly a Shu Yuki guy. I'm a really huge appreciator of the instrumentals in this genre in general, like not just with this band. But then again, you just have to think about like how many people could actually convincingly perform those songs, and those are probably not many, so Show rocks as well, man. Sumi Eclair writes, the most disappointing part is the AI album cover, as the song, especially the solo, is solid. Again, talking about The Light of Hope, the song is definitely solid. Like, there's nothing wrong with the song. It's just too much Galneryus, in my opinion. As soon as you have specific categories you can like categorize things in, that's usually not a good sign, in my opinion. But honestly, you can't expect a band bringing out this amount of output to be original with every new song. That JLP writes, so excited for the new album, it's a great song, weird album cover, directly AI, very excited for the coming songs. Agree with you, Galneryus is repeating their formulas in this song. It sounds like a common song from the last albums. I hope they innovate in other songs. Well, they've innovated a bit so far. They didn't deviate far, in my opinion, but just it's really about those little eccentricity, I can't speak. The moods they've chosen, right? The step up in production, the step up in intensity. They just took stuff they've already established before and just pushed it a bit further. And that's something I really appreciate in this song here, Let No Time to Decay. Yeah, and that's it so far about the comments. Like, thanks for the interaction and the interest. I hope we will have a great time going forward in the album. And then I just, before we get to the lyrics, I just wanted to talk a bit about, you know, the elephant in the room. What we are looking at is pretty likely something generated in, I don't know, ChatGPT or Midjourney. Like, I don't even know at this point. I've worked quite a bit with like all of those models. I can't even tell at this point. I personally would guess it's probably Midjourney, but I don't even know what the capacities of the other models were. But I think it's pretty apparent for like everyone looking at it, which is kind of like baffling, right? Why anyone would choose to pick an album cover artwork which so obviously looks like AI. Perhaps an interview at some point will clarify that. I don't know, like, if they do interviews like that, but it would be interesting to me because it's really obvious, apparently, for everyone, or like for many people, that this is AI. If you would use generative AI to generate an image, I would guess you would at least try to hide it, right? So perhaps it's actually a statement. Maybe I'm interpreting too much into it, but perhaps it's trying to say something about the state of the world. Or perhaps, you know, I've also heard musicians, heard an interview, this guy from X Japan the other day, who also said he's not really against the use of AI per se. It's a bit about, you have to really think about how you can incorporate that into your art and like still make art with it, right? It's about, in the end, it's about making art and using AI as a tool to assist with that, instead of something which just takes away all of the creative work which flows into stuff. Again, like, this is the only thing I can like reasonably think of, that they actually try to make a statement with this, or that they actually try to show we're not gonna push back against like how technology develops. We're just gonna like use the state of things to make our stuff, and we don't care about that. Like, I don't know. Again, there was this comment speculating that it was not their decision, and this might also be the case. I would also assume that it's like not, at least not completely their decision. I wouldn't know why they would do that type of thing. But anyway, enough about the general situation with AI and stuff. And it's like really interesting if you see the capacities of GPT, for example. They could even like create this whole thing like with text, with this ornament here, with this like texture on the logo and stuff. You could probably AI generate this entire thing with I don't know, ChatGPT or something, which is interesting to me. It also has this CD character to it, which is also actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this might actually be made with GPT. Yeah, but anyway, we have this like a long-haired hero with a coat. It doesn't look like this really like muscular classic hero we have in Under the Force of Courage. He rather looks like a sort of assassin or something. Then, of course, really dark mood. He has a similar hair color to Shu, by the way. Also a similar stature, now that I think about it. And yeah, essentially we have this really dark, a lot of the Rings-esque mood. These buildings here look intensely like AI, which is a bit sad because that is actually something which would look cool, but it was kind of spoiled by AI, because every time you prompt dark castle, something like this pops up. Of course, like the most apparent thing here in this is the light coming from above, because we also have these dark clouds and there's just this little hole where these light rays shimmer through. And I don't know if this is like intended or not. I would think it is intended. This looks like a heart. I think it's not the most subtle thing to do to make this a heart or anything. But yeah, just in general, whenever I'm listening to a song from a certain album, I'm thinking about the album cover. Therefore, really often I'm making comments about, that this or that song sounds like the album cover. And so far, pretty much every song sounded like the album cover, especially this one, right? We had the intro song where we had this rising up from the bottom with the guitar. We had this light trickling down from above. And we had these ideas in pretty much every song, and probably the strongest in this song, right? Because we really have this like huge, dark, I would say almost evil environment here. If we have these like really pointy roofs and stuff, we have this really dark, intense mood at the bottom. But then like in the solo and in the outro section, we're getting kind of closer to the light there. So that's pretty much always what's important to me, that the artwork represents really well how the songs sound like. And at least that's the case, I would say. So I can't even say it's a bad album cover. It's just so obviously AI that everyone has to wonder why. I think that's all we have to say. I think it's pretty obvious like what's portrayed here, and just a few thoughts about that, I guess. And what's now left open, of course, are the lyrics. If you're interested what the song is about, now's the time to find out. Okay, so since this is a pretty recent song, there isn't many lyric sources, and I hope those lyrics are accurate. I have no idea whatsoever. I'm gonna try to grab the album as soon as I can. Then we might read it from the booklet, but for now I just have to trust the site that those are correct. I mean, it seems accurate so far. Shut your face, get to the point now. You're talking way too damn long. Know your place. Cut to the chase now. You wind up with no one by your side. Shut your face, stick to the point now. Give me something meaningful. Know your place. Cut to the chase now. You'll end up with no one by your side. Who are they talking to? Well, someone's angry, and this is pretty much what the song sounds like, so very fitting here. I have no idea what the chorus is, if it is this or if it is this, but this we have to translate. I live in this hopeless time, this era I can't grasp. Don't shake me up, I lose control, overcome by frustration. I live in this soulless time, this era without passion. Don't mess me up, I fall below, I'm slowly decaying. And again, we have this like very bad, negative picture of the world being painted. And of course, now that we've talked about the AI cover art, I try to think about how that fits into the picture. And we have this line, I live in this soulless time, this era without passion. What is regarded as soulless and without passion? The use of AI in art, right? Perhaps it paints a fitting picture of things. I mean, people are talking about it, definitely. Like, it's one of the most talked about points I see since I've seen discourse about this album, which is something not to disregard. I had to seek out another site. It's not structured very well here. You just see line after line, but let's just go on here. Use your head, cut through the lies now. Why are you still not seeing it? Think ahead, get to the truth now. You've got nothing but pride in the end. I live in the helpless time. So there is something about someone or people in general talking, like focusing on the wrong things, and there's like a lot of chaos, and we have to like find out what the actual things to focus on are. A lot of times there's a conflict between what actually obviously matters or should matter and what the world focuses on, pointing out what's supposed to be important instead. And this of course ends in chaos and disconnect from things. So we're back with this world without passion, this soulless world, which is disconnected from a certain source. Another pre-chorus, I think this is a pre-chorus at this point. I live in this helpless time, this era that leaves me adrift. Don't break me up, I lose control. Ruled by despair, I live in this aimless time, this era with no direction. Don't set me up, I fall below, fading away, right? So we have this thing of like losing grasp of things and yourself and everything. I'm drowning into stuff. We have a lot of that imagery. I fall below, I lose control, and this is portrayed in the wobbliness of the solo. Yuki, ding, 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 ding. Yuki's doing a lot of that stuff, but also the guitar, everything pretty much. This was a really chaotic, hectic, tangent-filled song. It was so freaking dark. It was probably the darkest song by just how the guitars played. I mentioned at some point. The guitars were so deep in the mix, or I don't know if it was the notes he played, but you almost didn't hear it. So it was so heavy that you almost didn't hear it anymore. So we really had that weight here as well. And this has to be the chorus, because it starts with let no time decay. Reclaim the present. Don't cast time away. You won't get anywhere just by grieving. Let no time decay. Reach out for tomorrow. Don't cast time away. Let your anger drive you forward. There are certain battle themes here, of course, being evoked. Reclaim the present. You won't get anywhere by sitting in a corner and just grieving. Reach out for tomorrow. Let your anger drive you forward. But yeah, that's kind of the idea here. And just let no time decay, right? Because all the time you spend focusing on the wrong things. There's this example. You won't get anywhere by just grieving. You won't get anywhere by directing your anger at other people unnecessarily, right? All of those things kind of make you spend your time in a way which is just dead time in the end. And I think that's kind of the idea, that we have to start to think about what are unnecessary things we're wasting our times with, which is of course an intense issue for pretty much everyone in this like digital social media environment, for example, which is designed to effectively kill your time with unnecessary bullshit. And it's getting worse with AI, arguably, because it's a infinite source of content and possibility, which can waste your time even further and more intensely. And of course, this is wanted. As long as someone benefits from it, it will be in their interest that people will be disconnected, that they will be confused, and that they will start developing these habits and get lost in the cycle, essentially. I live in this hopeless time, this era I can grasp. Don't shake me up, I lose control. Overcome by frustration, I live in this soulless time. This era without passion, don't mess me up, I fall below, I'm slowly decaying. Yeah, I also vibe with this, I am slowly decaying. I don't know if it's the same thing as what some people might regard as boredom, but like I'm really viscerally feeling if I am wasting my time by doom scrolling or whatever. And I think it's like that with most people, that they actually have this inner feeling that they actually should do something that matters a bit more, but they just can't stop wasting their time. And this I'm slowly decaying is, I think, a good way to put it, because it really feels like that in a way. A part of you knows that you're actively killing your time with something which doesn't matter at all. Let no time decay, reclaim the present. Don't cast time away, it won't end with just sorrow. Let no time decay, reach out for tomorrow. Don't cast time away, even if you're overwhelmed by anxiety and turmoil. Let no time wane, crush it with strength. Don't cast time away, let your anger drive you forward. Is that a double chorus? I would assume that's two choruses. Perhaps putting everything in order we've established so far. Reclaim the present. Don't live in the past or in the future or in some abstract space. Don't cast time away, it won't end with just sorrow. This is probably about the worrying stuff, right? It won't end with just sorrow. Stop worrying. There's things you should do. Let no time decay, reach out for tomorrow. This again, I would say, also implies focusing on today, because you can get lost in ideas about the future as well, right? You have to work today to build tomorrow, in a sense. To say it cheesily, but it's like functionally like that as well. Let no time decay, reach out for tomorrow. Don't cast time away, even if you're overwhelmed by anxiety and turmoil. Again, this thing. Let no time decay is always, you know, a certain statement which says, do this, right? Reclaim the present, reach out for tomorrow. That's what you should do, essentially. It's a call to action. Let no time wane, crush it with strength. I think that's a new type of line here. Crush it with strength. A certain defeat the evil type of thing to bring some energy into this. And don't cast time away, let your anger drive you forward. I think it actually does make sense to put this last, let your anger drive you forward. It's kind of transfer that negativity that builds up in yourself and focus on transforming that into the drive you have to do something good with it. If you manage to do that, that's essentially you've kind of nailed it, I suppose. And in the song, of course, they transferred the energy also into some positive moods in the end. So that's also what they did in the music. We have two final lines. Stand again, hold on to yourself through pain, rise again, keep holding yourself ready now. Usual power metal Galneryus ending of their song. I don't know if they were singing together at this part, but that's what they usually like to do their motivational speeches there. But yeah, I think it's like interesting how this relates to AI. Again, it just fits into this image of the world. I don't want to defend this decision if it was just a way to have less work and less cost for the album cover, right? But that being said, it doesn't mean that it cannot make a statement. And if you paint like the world as this AI generated thing at this point, it might not even be original at this point, because probably other people have had this idea as well. But still, I don't think it's like not saying anything at all, right? So interesting stuff in that regard, I guess. But yeah, that was a lot of yap today for everyone who's still watching. Hope this episode was a bit interesting. I like the song a lot, so I'm happy for the coming week. Actually, I liked the 2 songs a lot. Like the intro song was also pretty cool. And yeah, next time we're gonna listen to Beyond the Sunrise. I'm expecting a bit of a chiller song, but then again, it's like beyond the sunrise, right? So it could be something dark again as well. So yeah, we're gonna see next time if you're interested, and see you then.